Do it! Our third of 4 best of 5s today. The top left-hand corner from the Shopify Rebellion, our blue Terran player is ByuN. Taking on the red Protoss in the bottom right from Team Liquid, we have got ourselves Skillets. How's everyone doing? Let me know if you're out there. Let me know what's up. Let me know what's going on. I say so good to see you guys, and thank you so much for joining us as we get ready to rumble into game number 1 of our best of 5. Honestly, Skill's been playing great lately, but it's been playing very on and off. Like, sometimes it feels like you can compete with anyone, and then the next day, he just kind of loses somewhat uninterestingly to somebody 2-0 or something. It's like, oh. You know, so for me, I'm excited for Skillets, but sometimes it's hard to maintain that excitement because, like, I feel like he could put up a really good fight to ByuN. If the day is right, he could also just flop 3-0 and ByuN kills him at, like, 9 minutes every time, right? Like, he really just sort of has that kind of vibe around him, just that inconsistency seems to be a big factor for him at the moment. Proby is going to be wandering around in Le Natural, and a couple of SCVs are going to come through to nibble at Probe as well, so there's a little bit of damage being done. SCV is getting some work in as we do drop our command center down onto the natural expansion. So we do expand our Probe, it's scouting completed, and interesting enough, Reactor First on the side of ByuN as well is going to give him that immediate kind of move through. And actually, Skillets never saw this either, so he doesn't know it's Reactor First. So he doesn't realize that this, you know, he probably thinks this is a Reaper because he got away in time where he hadn't seen a Marine. But in reality, it's going to be the Reactor, and that means that actually ByuN's going to have a little bit more Marine production than usual. I've seen a Adept popping out. You see how that's just moving around a little bit. Couple barracks coming through, CC coming out, our Marines are all producing, and just going to be having ourselves. And the Adept just coming across. Robo facility opening though is quite cool. It's not so cool maybe if you lose your first unit. The Adept is very nearly going down, but does just about survive, so good to keep that alive. Adept trying to make its way over here. Just going to try and shade by. Not really going to see too much of anything, as obviously we just keep these Marines up, and they're going to start pushing forward a little bit. So on we go into the center. Just going to be having ourselves a gateway coming down over here. Prison coming up, Stimpak coming through. And do have ourselves the combat shield as well. Additional Marines all coming out. And there is the Robo Bay coming through on the side of SKillous, so getting that up and rolling. Robo Bay coming through, the Warp Gate is about to complete. A couple of additional probes all coming out. Just for the moment. There's a battery coming down over on the edges here as well. It's just going to drop that straight into the natural. Observer coming through as well. Now is the Prism going to go lift up a couple of units. Going to see 4 Stalkers begin to make their way out across to the upper side of the map. So, a journey to the top. Obviously, the Stalkers will be able to put a bit of pressure on. We're going to go for fast Colossus behind this. Now, the bio pressure coming. Obviously, it's only 2 bases of ByuN, of Skillets, and that means that it might be hard for ByuN to find some damage, as now these Stalkers will start to chip through a couple of Marines. Plus, if he's taking some shots, they don't have Game Hard on. Well, hopefully that's not the case for the full series, because no Game Hard's a little bit frustrating to cast, as we do have our combat shield finishing, just waiting on Stimpak to be done in a few moments. The SCVs are pulling preemptively. ByuN's going to move up the ramp on the other side. Oh, there's a wall, but he just kills the wall. Now he's going to drop the pylon, so everything gets depowered here. First Colossus is only just about to pop, and ByuN is going to start dealing some mega damage, I feel like. Unless there's a force field on this ramp right now, he stims up into the Colossus, a classic move from the Terran player. And now we're actually just going to be able to sit here and fight. A lot of these probes taking damage. We actually do lose out on a lot more bio than I guess expected. How many probes have fallen though? 15? But we're losing 10 SCVs on the other side. Turns out that these Stalkers have stayed active, and the Stalkers staying active mean that the 10 SCVs are brought back. Obviously, Skillets is a little bit behind, but he's not so, he's not completely unmanageably behind, right? So actually, not so bad, not so bad. As, yeah, I mean, it just helps us to stay a bit more competitive. Obviously, in this case, it was definitely a better trade out overall from ByuN, especially because he got a Colossus. If Skillets had, like, saved the Colossus and this happened, I think we're okay with it, because then he's really heading towards a very high amount of tech that ByuN is not set up to deal with. So that would be pretty nice, but obviously, now that's just not going to be the case at all. Starport coming up about halfway done at the moment. Concussive shells is coming through. Even going to go Colossus drop. Now that's very brave when you don't have Warp Prism speed. With Prism speed, Colossus drop is very safe. It can pretty much always get away. It might be able to for a while here. As our Prism comes around, just going to be seeing the missile turret firing a shot off already. And Colossus, extend thermal lance, all of this coming through. Prism trying to come out around the left as Marauders and Marines are going to get straight across into position to try and deal with this. Almost just like fake pressure in a way, because I don't think Skillets is crazy enough to go diving in with a slow Prism and a Colossus inside. I think he probably knows that's a very quick way to lose this game, right? So, not be too surprised if he just sort of sits back, as ByuN apparently pings over here. Accidental click on the minimap, perhaps, as we do see additional gateways coming out. Colossus and the extended thermal lance still coming through. And it looks though ByuN starting to hunt around a little bit with these Vikings. Going to start moving out with everything, actually. So, big move forward at first. Also still coming up. We don't have game hard on the gang, by the way, guys. I'm sorry, obviously, it's not going to be without game hard. Like I said, I hope the rest of the series does have game hard. It's just kind of frustrating to see no, it's just the little things I'm like, oh yeah, I can't even see what's building out this road. I've got to look all the way to the production tab. Unbelievable. Scans continue through. Observer's going to get taken down. Evacs come back around the left. He's going to see the rest. This moving up towards the top. Dunk will drop. Just going to be seeing this army from Skillets. Actually going to get a recall back over towards the natural expansion. Well, that's actually going to be a pretty big run by over here. It's actually into the main base, the recall. The drop coming through for a chunk of probes at the moment. Obviously, it's a lot of probes dead early. Now we got 5 more. Drops onto the 3rd base during this. The fact that Skillets is still only on 2 bases is pretty rough. Hunchback lifts up, escapes back over the right side. Us back to the middle of the map here. So army pushing forward, Stalkers, Colossi, Sentries continuing through. A couple of Vikings, Marauders, Marines all coming out just for the moment as well. As we do have ourselves the tank fire already starting up on these Stalkers. Colossi going to fire up a bit. Fire force coming through. Just going to keep on pushing by at the moment. And a single Viking is still just poking his way through the Colossi. Is it enough? I mean, the Colossi can definitely hold on for a little bit. I actually kind of felt like that was a moment where ByuN was just going to continue forward, but I think he wants to try and utilize his tanks in this fight. Result here going to get knocked down. Twilight Council still coming up. Disrupt a building off our Robo facility. There's going to be seeing our army starting to stim up here. One Colossus does manage to micro back for the moment. A couple more tanks continuing to show up here as well. We still got that Twilight Council and Forge building with 5 more Zealots on the way too. This army of Skillets chilling out over on the bottom side. Coast Academy coming up, a couple of Vikings coming through, Marines, Marauders continuing in. Army of Skills just setting out in the center still as you have this army still getting forward. Going on the big push. He really has been the one to obviously just get off to a better start. Skills on a third. No third for such a long time was definitely problematic as well. And now just building up into this big push in. A couple tanks getting sieged. Our Bioforce just needs to maybe not go through the choke against all the Colossi. If we get through and, you know, able to spread out though, maybe it's okay. As Super Battery does pop beneath these Colossi. Well, the Vikings will go to work on those as the Disruptor is here as well. The Disruptor does have a shot available. Hasn't fired yet. Gonna sit tight on this base. ByuN is gonna load up a chunk of medevacs, take those over to the right side, try and get a little bit of dropping action into place as well. It's just gonna begin to unload as Zealots going through our Stalkers as well. We actually got rid of this next on the right side. Was that a kill? I think so. It just kind of looked like it disappeared. It didn't even look like it got killed. It just sort of looked like it did like a reverse warp and it just like de-warped or something. 2 Disruptors actually both get to fire, but they'll die soon after, and the shots were obviously not that meaningful because ByuN was very aware of them going off. So the micro was in place, dropping into the main, going to force a couple of units, just force a Disruptor shot. The Colossi are going to dive forward. This is where the tanks target fire them down. It's going to be easy pickings, and ByuN will close out. Game number 1. GG's. And the tweet actually has a couple ways for you to support them on Ko-Fi or my course, so do check that out. How to support future seasons of this awesome tournament series that is OSC. As in the bottom left, Blue Terran is from Shopify Rebellion. Yeah. He's up 1 is in the upper right. Our red Protoss from Team Liquid is Skillets. Coming across the map, altitude, big map to go into this second game on. Obviously a huge map, a lot of potential. We see a lot of games go along in this one. Very open spaces though. Sweet comes in, Probe taking some shots. We see our Cybercore still coming through, Pylon coming into play as well. That command's down the natural. I'm just going to be seeing the older command getting started up as well. Probe still patrolling out on the front. And factory reactor coming through. Our Stargate is coming up as well as Probe is going to go nibbling at this SCV. Marine coming over to fight this Probe. Probe did get over here a little cheeky and build a proxy Stargate as well, by the way. So we're going to see a Stargate coming up already on the side of Skillous. Very quick and aggressive from him. No expansion. And ByuN choosing not to scout is going to be absolutely blind to this. So his greed of ByuN is currently not looking as though it's going to go too well for him. Probe comes to the bottom. Just going to be seeing our Void Ray coming up. It's going to be seeing our Warp Gate coming through. Starport is already producing over here. We do have our Void Ray starting with the proxy battery is going to be the choice as well. Kind of love it, honestly, right? I mean, something I talk about doing something a little bit different here from Skillets. It's a build which isn't seen too much anymore. This was obviously very popular for a while. When they nerfed the batteries, this build became a lot less popular, a lot less viable. Hellion commits to kill off this probe as ByuN tries to chill things out a little bit right now. Project comes forward, activates. It's going to be going straight after this supply depot here. Couple stalkers. It's going to be coming through. It's going to drop 2 hits down. Void's coming up, Viking going to be there. Void's going to continue getting pushed back. A couple of SCVs trying to hold on. Problem is, ByuN has no real defense just yet. The bunker that was about to be placed gets delayed a couple extra seconds. Marines and the Cyclone just locking in. The Void Ray. It's going to get pushed back a little bit. A couple batteries healing up. What am I going to get burrowed? The rest of the Marines and the Cyclone just going to continue to fire up a little bit as well. Good of mine unburrows, reburrows, gets burrowed one more time. Cyclone's still locking on. Bunker is actually going to get killed off there. Oh my goodness, we're going to kill a Void Ray though, which is a pretty big deal. And Skillets just going to tap out GG's. His other Void Ray is so low, he decides that that's not going to be it. And ByuN is going to take a 2-0 lead in this best top left-hand corner. Our blue Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. It is going to be ByuN. Up 2-0 in this best of 5. Looking very good so far. As in the bottom right from Team Liquid, our red Protoss player Skillets needs to find the 180 switch to start turning this series around. Because he is not in a pretty position at the moment. He hasn't even tried doing things a little bit differently as well, right? And we'll see that Void Ray push didn't really work out at all, unfortunately. Kind of felt like it had some hope, because especially just not getting, getting a bunker up or anything, but ByuN just got enough units up to kind of undo a lot of that as well, so. Proxy barracks from ByuN this time around. First scout Skillets should be, so he's not going to know about it straight away here, but as he comes across the map, he'll realize that there is at least a chance of a proxy. Of course, it could always be a fake proxy, just the barracks nearby the main base and just outside, and he'll fly back in. And that's why it's so frustrating to play against these Terrans, because there's so many little bits and pieces and trickeries that they can kind of add into their play to make life difficult for you as a Protoss. It's the probe to scout. Reaper does start. To get this up and running. The probe going after the SCV. The SCV is going to come back over after the probe. The bunker down in the natural mineral line. Obviously, this is if it gets up very annoying because the Reaper is going to spawn very close by. Reaper will be here to deflect the probe, and this is the problem. When you don't go Zealot, you cannot stop this bunker getting up. So now this bunker is going to go up no matter what. That means you have to invest a shield battery on the low ground. Some players, I think it was, I can't remember who I was talking to, but one player told me they actually think it's just better to skip the Zealot and just, accept building the battery because you've got to get the battery anyways, but not sure if that's completely kind of agreed upon kind of situation here, as you do see the bunker. Now just one Reaper in, just going to be annoying, right? Force the battery, force a little bit of a fight before you can actually get this natural expansion mining. And all of that goodness, as the SCV did take a couple of shots, so it's not going to be as difficult to target down. And in fact, the SCV is just going to leave. This really is pretty low commitment from ByuN. He's going to make sure this battery is forced. Once that battery finishes, he might just be hopping out of here and just sort of saying, right, though, that's enough for me. Yep, just hop out, get the salvage guaranteed, and just be kind of happy that you forced a battery here. You get a lot of money back off of your resources spent on the bunker. And your opponent has a battery way earlier than they ever really needed. And they had to make sure they had units out to deal with that as well. And for a little bit of time, just the probe's not completely able to mine on the natural too is a minor factor as well, for sure. Yo, the probe just killed an SCV. That ain't meant to happen, I'll tell you that much. Probe having an SCV kill is a little bit wild. Somehow there's another SCV right next to it. I guess it was trying to push the probe back. It will just take over command center building duties, so... Well, probe for a SCV is the trade so far in this game, and a little bit of trade and resource with bunkering and baking and all of that. Of course, our barracks has flown all the way home now as well, so already back going to build the reactor initially. Tech Lab building on the factory too. All of this now starting to come through. Reaper into the main, just going to get a couple shots off. Probe's taking a few more hits. We do lose one more, so the Reaper, a full scout, seeing the Stargate producing Phoenix. A full scout on top of a full scout just to gain just one more worker of damage. So just adding up the shots here, little by little so far. As our Phoenix continues around to the upper left side. Extra racks coming out. Viking and the Cyclone continue through. The Marines are going to start to produce here as well. Still have ourselves this Phoenix coming out around the bottom right. It's going to head back down to the bottom side as have a Widow Mine drop. Currently forcing a lot of probes to not actually mine and trying to chase down probes as best we can as well. Ooh, we're not going to get the shots off here off this mine. It's going to keep resetting. As we do have the medevac hunted down by Phoenix. Now both these Widow Mines cleaned out. And like I say, this Widow Mine over here. Yeah, okay, now he's going to be able to get a kill. Oh, we're retargeting onto the probes. So he's keeping those probes in the corner for just a little longer. Finally, Skillets is free to start mining again. That Widow Mine can be cleaned out by the Stalkers. Just took a little longer than initially expected. Stalkers will come back around to the front of the natural and just then set around there. It's going to be about these Phoenix for the foreseeable future, seeing what they can do as they push out over this direction. Filling out the front just a little bit, coming through. SCV's Marines going to be taking some shots. Do you have Phoenix taking a couple of hits already? Barracks is going to lift up, and a couple more Cyclone hits just land on the Phoenix, doing a bit more damage. Getting things to add up that little bit extra for now. And back and +1 are both on the way through. We also have a missile turret being added on as well. So all of this coming up. The Phoenix going to go back around the top side. Sorry, guys. Bless me. God damn it. I had to mute so many times to try and get it out of these sneezes, and I fuck up on the last one. Oh, yeah. Alright, sorry. Little sneeze and fit. As we get ready to go into our next step of this, which is obviously the Phoenix control on the map. Our Colossi now coming up, so we continue into Phoenix Colossus here just in general. Oh, sorry, now I've got that. Sorry, now I've got a sniffly nose. We do have a little Phoenix scuffle over here. Spawn these couple of medevacs. The Phoenix is spreading out to kind of gather info, and the moment he sees anything, the Phoenix is going to gather back together and get ready to go. There's our Bio, just going to go and nibble through the rocks. Just going to deal some damage there. We've seen our rocks getting knocked straight down. So just going to open that up. We do see the Colossi coming forward, the Phoenix, the Stalkers trying to fight, lifting up a couple of these Marauders in the Cyclone. Let's see a few more of these Marauders going down. The army continue to come across. And this army of Skillets continues to push into the top left-hand side. Plus line, everything continuing around. There's the fleet beacon coming out from the mothership. Potentially for the mothership. I'd be surprised if it was. Obviously, you can get Phoenix range off that fleet beacon initially. CC in the front is going to be finishing. They can lift off and maybe get a move along. We do see a couple more Vikings coming out. The Marines are still building. Fleet beacon and the Forge coming through. And a couple more Phoenix coming out as well as we just have our hallucination pressing into the top left. Again, keep some scouting up. Skillets just trying to keep an eye on things. But so far, he's been kind of allowed to do as he wishes in this game. But mine gets a little connection. Just going to be seeing our Bioforce starting to stem on forward. Ghost coming out, plus on armor coming up. Air weapons coming through in that cyber core as well. Phoenix batteries, Nexus, all continuing in. Let's just keep on going throughout these early stages. Really just setting ourselves into a bit of a macro mid game with Phoenix Colossus, especially, is usually quite fun. Gonna knock down a set of rocks on this left side, opening a passageway through to the bottom right hand side. It's gonna be able to start moving over there. Got a probe, it's gonna get jumped on immediately as well. It's just gonna pick that off. And this Bioforce continues around into the center as Colossus Disruptor, second Stargate. All building through here, plus 2 air weapons comes up as well. Our Phoenix, for a couple moments, still looking as though they wanted to try and move through and see a little bit of what's going on. We do indeed now go into carriers, so we do start to make more use of that fleet beacon now that the Phoenix are already in a comfortable setup. I actually really thought you'd get Phoenix range. I feel like it's kind of crazy not to. It's just nice to be able to fight with these Phoenix a bit further away, be able to kite a little bit better, trade a bit better. I'm surprised about that as ByuN makes a diving blow, gets rid of one Disruptor immediately. Carrier still coming up, a few cannons on the way. Our army here from ByuN on the left hand side or in the center a little, still just sitting tight for the moment. I just don't know if ByuN's gonna have enough of an answer to carriers, right? He's currently sitting at what? 6 Vikings. He needs to really up the Viking production if he wants to fight against carriers aptly. And there's already 2 carriers on the map, 3 more on the way. If we get to 5, 6, 7 carriers, these are numbers. But yeah, you really do want to be having the potential to shoot through them in 2 or 3 Viking volleys at most. Otherwise, they're going to just be out and shredding you for a long time. Plus 2 attack upgrade for those interceptors. Pretty darn nasty. As our Bioforce settles down the front here, just going to be seeing our... Oh, just a shot there. Gonna actually get a few Marauders. Not a bad start to this. Over on the right side, just gonna knock down a pylon as well. Just gonna take that out. Taking shots, Phoenix is getting chased away. Still got our carriers in the front as we do see our Bio come around the left hand side. A couple cannons. Taking a little bit of damage. We do see our pylons getting knocked down as well. A little EMP coming through. Wouldn't mind shot going off toward a Disruptor, but the Disruptor is going to be able to survive through that. And ByuN still trying to push into this bottom left corner. He has added an extra starport. He is adding some Vikings. Vex come back through the middle of the map then. Away they go. There's just going to be seeing a couple extra carriers coming in, plus 3 air weapons coming in. The air armor also being produced. And there's a couple of CCs will come down. Medivacs will go, boosting into the top right side. He's just pushing up, but Phoenix are going to be here. Actually going to be able to see these carries. Actually going to get on top of the bio. This is where we're going to see the power of those +2 interceptors. Just see how good they can be. Currently hitting the CC. As ByuN backs himself up in the corner, tries to get as many reinforcements out as he can. He is killing the interceptors, which obviously will reduce some of that threat. He actually comes in from the flank as well. Disruptors need to be dealt with. The disruptors get full shots off on that flanking force. And I think that means that ByuN is just not going to have what he would really need to kind of bust through this at this point. And that probably means that we are going to see Skillets surviving game 3. And at the very least, taking us to see a game number 4 of this series. GG's, he does get that map win. We are going to a 4th game. Every time we load in game, it's like, your hotkeys are going to break. And I'm like, no. Top left-hand side, the blue Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. In the bottom right, our red Protoss from Team Liquid, Skillets. Game 4 here on Death Aura. As I get this up and operational. 40 Pog sub count. Yeah, subscriber count's been pretty good lately, actually, hasn't it? We got above 800. We had a very generous day. Protoss Stegosaurus was gifted 17. Obviously, a lot of other people have gifted this month too. Just helping boost us up a little bit. It's nice to see, though. We really was kind of hanging around like just 700 straight for a long time. So it is nice to see a bit of a little bit of like a boost for a little bit. It's obviously going to drop down a bunch next couple of weeks because I'm not going to be here as much. As again, I'm away this weekend, and then on Tuesday I fly to Gamers 8. Next on Cybercore coming up, Reactor and Factory coming through. We've seen ICV coming up, Probe taking a little bit of damage, gonna get chased away. Just gonna see our Probe coming through, Factory coming up, and the Reactor is continuing in as well. Piling that up, get that going. Just for the moment. I'm down a forward gateway, so this is going to be Skillets getting a little bit aggressive. Start things out here, bringing the fire a little bit here for a couple moments. Probe coming up to that high ground, trying to see what's going on. Again, a couple CCs coming out. And you see our bits of depth to come and poke around. ByuN is going to triple CC with the first CC even up on the high ground. So very safe, but then macro-focused opening beyond this initial engineering bay block into factory, etc. So some shenanigans, some aggression, and then just kind of following up from there in general as well. Is seemingly the plan for him is... And a couple CCs coming out. And this one's just going to lift off and float on down to the natural right here as well. It's just going to take that across. Again, Warp Gate finishing very soon, and still just seeing a cheeky little gateway down on the front at the moment as well. Our Stalker of Skillers will begin to, or continue to, move forward as well. So continues to move forward All accounts coming in, a couple probes and stalkers all on the way out. Bringing all of this up for now. As our siege tank, a couple extra marines coming through. Do have the adept and the stalkers here already, going to go poking away at the reactor, so a little bit more damage being done there for a moment. Just going to be seeing this reactor actually is going to go down, so that will be a reactor falling immediately. Hey, not a bad start. Skillets obviously down a game still in this series, wants to bring some pressure. I like it a lot. Death Horror, again, one of these maps from the extended map pool OSC uses for their tournaments. Cracked coming up, the SCV's coming up. Siege tank coming in. Cyclone is going to get pushed back. Adept just kind of coming through a little bit. Just going to be seen again. Charge, Temple, Archives, etc. All continuing through. Nexus here just continues up as well as you see Temple Archives and the Robo facility continuing to get put into place. Deeper coming now, just going to be seeing a Cyclone locking on. Stalk's taking some shots. Box facility on the way up at the moment from Skillets, continue to bring that through as our charge also gets set up. Our Cycle and the Marines will gather. I'm going to get dropped straight down there as we just have ourselves the Cyclone locking on again. Stalker's still taking some damage. Our Warp Gate is going to be dead in a couple of moments. And Observer's still coming out, still about halfway done. Extra gates coming through. And we see ByuN pulling back towards the top after clearing this out. So all his pressure set and done. Skillets maintains a worker lead, has his third base up and operational. Has got a third CC of ByuN. Of course, ByuN went 3 CC very quickly, and ByuN's well on his way now to buy upgrade Stim Combat and +1 all on the way through. We'll be a little bit worried for Skillets' tech, and not really. Temple Archives is up, right charge is done. I'd say he's actually in a pretty fine place, and he's getting the Prism out to create some map control as well. Cyclone does grab an Adept over on that far right side. Just going to be able to nab that for the moment. Cyclone locks in, kills off the Observer. Just going to be seeing still the Stim Combat and the +1 all coming through. As that Prism comes back over the left-hand side. So just going to move out over there. Couple missile turrets getting set to start zoning out any warp prisms and so on. A hallucination coming by as well. Silence, Archon, Stalker continuing through. A few more Stalkers going to join up over here as well. We just get everything going in the middle of the map. I don't think Skillets really has a moment here, right? I mean, this is... I guess maybe if you force enough units into the main base with the Zealots, maybe there is some potential here, but ByuN's still pretty well set up over here, and he does get into the main base pretty aptly too, so I don't think this works out. I think Skillets just has to back away instead. How many SCVs we're going to lose here? So far, 7 lost in the game, make it 8. These few Zealots are still active because the Bio is chasing the Prism rather than shooting the Zealots down, so it took maybe a few moments longer to clean up, but that's going to be about it for the moment. Fourth Nexus is coming through. Blink still coming up. +1 is about halfway along. You see our second Robo facility and a Robo Bay both continuing out as well. As its army continues back through to the middle of the map, getting out into the center just for now. Ghost Academy will finish in a moment here as our tanks are just going to make their way around the left, and Skillets still sets up in the middle of the map. Sorry, guys. Apologies. Just drank my drink the wrong way. Doing great today, aren't we? No game heart, no. Apparently when these guys hosted the games, they didn't host the game heart, and it seems to have been done throughout the series. I will tell them off. I never understand it, because if I'm a player, and I'm playing games, like if I'm playing like customs, like in my eyes, I guess let's watch this fight first as ByuN kites backwards, lets the tanks do exactly that, some tanking. But they're going to get wiped out now. I don't think ByuN can continue. Oh, he's going to lose the full medevac as well, so good chase down for Skillets. Does very well there. Doesn't continue to chase, but very good fight for him, and he puts himself ahead in supply. I never understood it. Like, if I'm a player and I'm playing a custom, why wouldn't you host with Game Heart? Because if you want to watch the replay, it makes watching the replay better and gives you more information more easily to analyze and to learn from. Like, it baffles me that it isn't just like a natural kind of second nature thing to do for every player when they host a game. Like it's absolutely second nature for me to host a game with Game Heart on, but I honestly surprised the players don't do the same when they host because there's so much to gain from it. But I guess if they're used to not seeing Game Heart stuff in ladder games, then I guess it makes sense to maybe they don't care so much about it when they do custom games. So I guess that's the counter argument, but ew, I don't like counter arguments. So let me make my, let me say my piece, Let my voice, let my reasoning, but let my point of view be correct. I'm seeing units of skills going to take a chance to open the map up a little bit. So opening of the map, obviously in a pretty substantial lead. 30 supply is all in army supply as well for Skillets. Is going to be his favor, his advantage coming across to the top. Will he commit in? How much will he commit in? As he goes, actually gets a snipe cancelled. And that's just a bunch of Terran units once again going down for free as they just get caught on the corner, going back up to that high ground. That turns out to be a little expensive too. Colossi, Zealots, and and Archons getting set up as CC gonna lift off as Zealots charge through. SCV's already in some trouble. We'll see this command center taking some additional damage. We actually have to recall though, because it wouldn't be ByuN if he didn't have something of a counter-attack going on, right? And he does have one over here that forces the recall. At least slows Skillets a little bit, which is probably necessary because he was having a pretty bad time evacuating the fourth base and everything. Now we get to resettle ourselves for the moment. Skillets is not going to take long to max out though. The only problem now is if you move across the map a second time, you are not going to have a recall available. It's on cooldown, so you've got to be very sure that you're not going to be in too much trouble to a counterattack or anything of that sort. Otherwise, yeah, you don't really have a good answer to it right now. You can't warp in, and you can't recall. Those are usually your two answers, so... Planetary trying to get finished up here. First EMPs are pretty decent, especially hitting some of these Archons, bringing their shields just straight off him. Well, it's kind of melting towards the end, although we will lose a siege tank. We should be able to chase a little bit here as ByuN. As he comes down this ramp, the Zealots continue to march forward. The Colossi putting in some work. An extra round of Zealots already set to warp in as well. I think that's actually a big deal. Now the Colossi lasering through this entire time is huge. If that was a much faster... yeah, if those Zealots had warped in... If the Zealots had shown up at the first time, were kind of the just fresh warping, then maybe ByuN would have been okay. But the fact that they were not the fresh warping, and the fresh warping could be around his Zealots again, that definitely obviously made some issues. Made life a little bit tougher. This goes back to motioning around, trying to figure out just where I'm gonna go. Army continues through, just gonna be seeing our stalks coming across Colossi. Gonna laser down the sensor tower here, and it will go down. A couple of ghosts taking some hits. As we push up, you can knock down these depots. Zealots will have access, although it's into a pretty hefty choke point. Not sure if that's something you actually do want to push into as Skillets. Not really. He's going to kind of hold position back and just let the Colossi do the work, which is fine. Although the Vikings starting to get some of the kills. I guess it works two ways. Terran Army can't also chase through there, otherwise Disruptors are going to have a field day. Fire Force still flying, a couple of cells going down. That's a good disruptor shot right on top of a chunk of bio. And ByuN, he might clean out every single Colossus, but it took so freaking long. And a couple of Stalkers still coming through. Ghost taking a few more shots. An army of Skillets back around into the center. A whole chunk of extra cells is going to come through. It's actually just going to be GG right there, as ByuN has to tap out. And Skillets brings it from 0-2 to 2-2, turning this series around at the moment. We're going to start off this one with the Shopify Rebellion Blue Terran player ByuN. In of 5. He's lost all momentum in this series. Can he get back to fighting shape and take down a 5th map? Or is it going to be the reverse sweep from Skillets to move into the top 4 of the OSC Mid Season Playoffs? Let's find out. Alright then, game 5 is you have our probe. He is going to scout here from Skillets. Probe just coming out down that bottom side for a couple moments. Just going to be seeing ourselves the gateway, the barracks, all coming up. That probe is going to be going after our SCV. SCV going to pop out in return and come back after that probe. SCV is now going to try and grab the probie, so trying to see a little bit of what we can do. Reaper. Coming up, command center coming through, orbital command finishing as well. Our probe is going to go fully moving away now over to the left hand side, backing up after scouting. Once more, ByuN is going to play that no scout opening, so playing a bit risky, but in this scenario, there's nothing happening early enough that he's going to be too worried about there, so no issues in that regard, as Reaper just checking around the right side. Try to see what is happening. React coming up, command center being built. Gonna make it a triple CC here from ByuN. Adept will get a couple of shots off. Reaper already taking some hits. Barracks number 2 going down. Stargate is just gonna be the choice, and SKillets has been pretty confident with the Phoenix, not just in this series, but as of late in general. Reaper hops up, probe just going to be taking some shots as well. That's going to be one probe going down, now going after the other couple of probes. Reaper hops down once again there, and just going to be back out down the left-hand side. A couple of Marines coming out. Our barracks still producing. The Oracle and the Warp Gate are coming through as well. Probe facility is producing, and obviously as the Reaper just kind of gets in, I mean, 2 probes is not bad at all. I've had the Adept on the other side actually get a couple of SCVs, mind you. We've been pretty focused on the Reaper. I apologize for not showing the Adept side of things. Skillets also putting some work in to get some damage done throughout the early stages, so good job, Skillets. And just as well as ByuN over here, 2 workers each. As the Reaper tries to hop into the main for info, dies to that Adept that just returned all the way back home, went straight up into that position and was just perfectly set to deal with the Reaper. As now our Oracle gets active back on this side as well. Going to get a few initial Marines and now some SCVs, and the main going to take damage. The Oracle hurting though. You do not want to lose the Oracle. It's the absolute last thing you want to have happen. So make sure that stays alive, as for the moment we're going to be able to do just that. Lots of let's go Skillets in the chat. Skillets getting the love behind him here for this 5th game. Very cool. Good good to see as we just have the oracles chilling out on this bottom side. It's just the one oracle, right? So one oracle straight into this Robo Bay. Wow. Good depth, Stalker. Pulling back over this direction, we do have ourselves in the middle of the map a few Marines looking towards the upper left-hand side. So just going to get in over here. The depth's coming through. Stalker as well is going to ping our way through those Marines at the moment. And now there's Immortal popping out. Stalker and Immortal continuing through. Just going to be seeing a couple more Marines continue to go down. Plus one attack, combat shield come up, extra barracks, and the star portal coming in. 2 more missile turrets also being produced. And Twilight Council and Double Forge will build on the side of Skillets, so it continues to bring that into place. We do have our oracles out down to the south. So we in the end did get Oracle number 2. Now Skillets, with the Colossi already coming up, is going to go full greed mode. Double Forge, get the Twilight Council running. Just down a lot of SCVs here, and Hence trailing a little bit. Needs to try and get himself back into this. So 3rd CC may be a helping hand, but yeah, definitely trailing away at the moment. Colossus +1/+1. Charge all coming through. Revelation drops down. Medivac's going to get caught there for a second. We do get a couple Stalkers coming through. Just going to turn this around. The Oracles are still making their way back over here as Medivacs will unload a little bit more Marine Marauder. First Academy building up in the bottom right. We're just going to be seeing that Bio still coming through. The Oracle still getting shoved backward. Bio here is just going to go for a little stem forward. The Oracle's dropping the Revelation down. Going to tag up a few of those units for the moment as well. That's a lot of gateways from Skillets. He's really taking advantage of the position he's in, getting all of the infrastructure into place for the, well, kind of just, maybe not the rest of this game, but for a good, decent chunk of the future. And it's in a very good position there as Bio continues to move up. We're going to grab ourselves a pylon. Templar Archives is just over halfway done. Our charge still coming up. Our 1-1 upgrade still coming through as well. It's just bringing all of this out right now. It's out on the south. ByuN is going to come through with another chunk of units. We're going to start splitting these armies up. Coming straight in, Stalker going to get slapped down. Zealot is going to be picked off as well as we just have this force still fighting over here. Yep, Winter Mine's going through. Bio now to the top side, going to find a pylon and pick away at as well. It's just going to knock that down. It's going to be a kill, not a cancel, I believe. I will finish off this pylon up to the north as well. It's just going to get that 12 o'clock position broken through in the center here. A couple of EMPs coming down. Archon's taking some hits. Colossi and Zelt will continue to chase forward. Bio force of ByuN backing away. Can't really contest too heavily with the Colossi unless we get a really good surround here. If you maybe had something from the south as well, I'd be a bit of a believer. And right now, these units from top left and top right just kind of converged into one army. Just melded together. So it didn't really have that kind of flanking effect. Skillets keeps pushing. He is obviously feeling it right now with the 1 upgrades done. CV is actually going to trap a few Zealots in there. Now the Bio going to have to be very careful again. There's just Colossi that we have no immediate answer to apart from here. Now he actually gets a freeway to stim through the Marauders. He gets on top of 1, 2, and all 3 Colossus, and it's going to be a complete tech reset from Skillets. ByuN lost a lot of SCVs during this. He's now lost 36 SCVs in the game, and a lot of them were right then, probably 20 plus. And that is obviously, so he lost 11 early as well, remember. So yeah, about 20 to 25 workers lost there. Pretty much the entire mineral line pulled into hell, but he does get the kill on the Colossi. And by resetting the Colossus count, he pretty much keeps this game going no matter what else. Big moments as ByuN will continue upwards, aiming towards this next. Just a couple of Archons, the Zealot's coming through. The Zealot's going to get crunched away by the ByuN pretty quickly. A couple of Marines and the Marauder again lifted up. The ByuN still kind of leaking through to this upper side third base. The moment's going to be enough to hold, though, with the Super Battery especially will not break on in. And now we do have Zealots on the counter-attack, as ByuN's going to take even more eco damage unless he can deal with this very aptly. Which it looks like he pretty much can. He will still lose a few SCVs as he uses them to kind of fight at the front, so about 5 or 6 extra. That's now, what, 52 workers lost in this game, so it's actually really adding up how many workers ByuN is losing. The only saving grace is a little bit in the efficiency, and obviously as well, again, he reset the tech count, he reset the Colossus numbers. That really does go such a long way, that has such an advantage attached to it. It's a big deal. Don't mind just getting a couple of picks. As we do move forward with the rest of our ByuN force. Is about halfway done. We are going to see 2-2 not far from finishing from Skillets. He's going to have an upgrade lead there as well. Remember, Skillets is 0-2 down this series. 2-2 now, and realistically, maybe on the way to kind of a fifth and final game. I say this especially because the games ByuN won were much faster and more aggressively paced. The games Skillets won were all the games that got to this kind of stage of the game. So that's definitely been noteworthy. We get to this kind of later game stage now. Again, Skillets has generally looked better here today than ByuN. Couple shots going out. Zealot's taking some damage. You're going to see the rest of this Archon Colossus force coming in from the center. A couple of EMPs going to land across those Archons. Now Phoenix going to show up. A few Vikings will begin to go down. Our ByuN stemming forward again. Archons continue to drop. Massive wipe on the army of Skillets as ByuN just finds a way. Here come a few reinforcing Zealots. They're actually going to save the Colossi, which is huge, because otherwise I think Skillets is going to lose everything. Yeah, Marines and a Ghost are going to come forward and chase the Colossus, which isn't exactly ideal. The Prism saving the day with the reinforcing warpins. Is it enough? We're going to warp in again. You've got to be careful here, because obviously this is a do-or-die fight suddenly. The Prism goes down with the Colossus inside. The other Colossus is still just about living, though. ByuN put a lot into taking down the Colossi and the Prism and everything, and now maybe paying a little bit of the price of that as he has to pick up and retreat the hell away. Yeah, it's a pretty wild little time that we're having so far. Fourth base over on that right side, just going to see our additional barracks coming through. Marine Marauder still coming up. More High Temple and additional Zealot just going to warp in as well, and Archon already coming through. Coming across, is going to go after the Zealot, going to grab that pretty quickly. Prism moves all the way out down to the south as our ByuN force and a couple of these Ghosts going to come pressing forward. On the right side, a couple of these Zealots are going to go through after these SCVs. So, again, Skillets keeping up the pressure, keeping up the ante. Otherwise, ByuN sitting in the middle of the map is not really able to do much at all. He's very much so, and he got a couple of catches on armies, but now it feels like he's very much so kind of resetting, rebuilding. Just knock down this Prism at least. Again, just going to have to do some building up right now as a little bit of ByuN here will do what it can. Clean up these few Zealots. Middle of the map, though, ByuN has to actually lift up and back away. Skillets' force, again, looking kind of large and terrifying as it makes an initial move forward. Slipping into that mineral line, a few of these SCVs will begin to be in trouble. Some ghosts finding the snipes necessary to mix it up a little bit. Tries to dive for the disruptor, but good pullback from Skillets and good getting his units in front as well. Nicely handled. There's another Widow Mine will go down. Far right side, there's a couple of Zealots still coming through. SCV still taking damage. Zealot Arc and Colossus continuing to build up over here in the middle of the map. Skillets is losing a chunk of supply. He was warping in over here and he just got caught because that was a lot of supply he just lost very quickly, I feel like. Now going to push forward though. ByuN obviously with the units in the top right doesn't have everything over here. We're still in this weird place where we're kind of struggling with, you know, not really having a proper answer to all of these tech units. Fire coming through, just going to see the disruptor going down. Gonna have a disruptor that ByuN just doesn't do anything about there though as well, so again, just nasty on both sides. Damage continues to be done. Just gonna get our Bioforce there, just gonna get rid of a few of those Zealots. +3 armor upgrade is coming up here on the side of ByuN, so just gonna get that going too. Medevac's still coming out, Marines are still coming in. Just for the moment here. A bit of bio pulls back away on the bottom right now. A little bit of bio on the top right getting chased as well. And again, just all of these little splits of armies from ByuN kind of sometimes getting caught. But we've not seen Skillets win a major fight recently. 5k resource loss difference. The income graph I would show you if we had Game Hard enabled, but it's been pretty even, I would say. You know, both players have had the bases they want to have, and both players have had, you know, within decent work count of each other. The disruptor shot coming through is going to be seeing our Archons there, going to grab ourselves a little Viking kill. Fire pulls back, we do on the top side see the 5 medevacs getting ready to dive in toward the main base. So in we go. Heading straight to this main as we'll begin to unload here in the corner. Extra Zealots coming out, just going to be seeing a little recall coming through as well, realizing that we're going to need a few more units here to really defend against this. So full commitment back into the main from Skillets. However, now you've got this army that's ready to hit your other bases as well, and this is where ByuN's going to benefit. He's going to find the low ground to these probes, and he'll get 6-7 workers straight away there. ByuN's army supply, by the way, because he only has 54 workers. He has 143 army supply, which is obviously pretty bonkers. It's a lot of army to the 90s. Like, he has a 50 army supply lead, and that's why he's splitting his army and looking terrifying in both positions. EMP's caught in this initially. Disruptors will do a lot to maybe make up for some of that difference as ByuN not able to outrun the disruptor shots here either, taking some extra hits. Now he turns with the EMPs. This time he dodges the disruptors. He gets a kill on one as well. Still in the main base, he's going unquestionably unanswered. Let's just have ourselves, you know, the actual drop back off is maybe not great because of the fact that there's a lot of Zealots there that can actually stand and trade. Now these disruptors obviously got in a bit of trouble as well. It looks as though Skillets, unfortunately, is a little unfortunately not going to be able to complete this reverse sweep. He was very close to getting there, and I feel like he got himself the kind of game that had been good for him in the previous games of this series to kind of go his way as well, but it does sort of feel as though we're coming to a close now as Zealots and a couple more disruptors all popping out. Fire swings around, going to get into range of a couple of these probes. They're going to nip away at a couple of those as well. The rest of this army from ByuN will continue to advance through. The disruptor shot is going to land on a Widow Mine. All 4 medevacs are now going to lift. Away they go. Just going to relocate here a little. Just going to get set back up. Okay, well, we're not even going to see one final fight, but Skillets was slowly bleeding out, and we kind of mentioned that. We kind of knew that. He's going to type GG. He has his disruptors about to get jumped on, I suppose, and he just doesn't